JP. Whoa. Whee! Better wake up. Whoa. Better shake up, shake up.
I wanna wake up. I wanna shake up.
Hi everyone, welcome back. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. Last episode I spoke about my jump from Tobago to Trinidad and being able to stay by this hotel. What happened is I left Tobago, I went to Trinidad so that I can seek an opportunity to play professional football. So I booked this hotel and I went, and at the time when I went, this time was a real jump for me because I didn't know where I was going to stay after this hotel. After my money is finished from staying at this hotel, I did not know where I was going to stay, but I wasn't planning on going back home until I get what I came for. I was not planning to go back home at all. So on arrival, the owner of the hotel picked me up from the airport and carried me to the hotel. And when I reached, the place was quiet. It was just still. He had a receptionist, a male figure, and it was like just two of them in the building alone. And I started to feel a bit nervous because I did not know what these guys were up to. So yes, the guy was really nice to me, he spoke to me really nice. The guy who picked me up, the owner himself, picked me up and who carried me to the hotel. He carried me to get something to eat and carried me back to the hotel. And it was really nice, but I felt like it was a fake at the time because I never expect him to be like that cool with me and genuine and nice. Because remember, Tobago is a different kind of culture, and growing up in doing construction and stuff. I'm not accustomed to male figures. I was not accustomed to male figures being so genuine and so nice. So I was a bit nervous, like if they were up to kill me, because it felt like I alone was in the building, and it was not so. This owner is a really good guy. He is a good person. So on my first trial at that time, I did not go to trial for a professional football club, but I wanted to get a scholarship. So even when I was in Tobago, I looked for scholarship training and clubs not clubs, but I saw it popped up on my Facebook, and I looked up and decided I will go and I will go to the screening. I decided that I will go to this scholarship screening. Then he carried me to the scholarship screening session and waited for me. I did not know what he would have waited, but he waited for me, and after my screening, they picked the players immediately on the same day, and I wasn't one of them that was picked. I failed to make the scholarship training, to make the team. I failed, so I head back, looking to head back out. I called him to pick me up, and he was already there waiting for me. And on our way up to the hotel, we spoke and he asked me different questions. He made me feel free to share things. I'm not a person that is really open, especially to males. I wasn't that kind of person at all. And so I opened up and I shared with him a little about me and what I really want. And I told him that I really just really want to play football. I want to play football professionally. And he said to me that he has a friend that is a coach, and he probably will have links with professional clubs, and he can connect me to him. So he did. So he called him right immediately. He called him immediately, right in the car, and said that he had a friend here that is looking to play with a professional team. If he can connect me, if he can connect me to one of those clubs. And they spoke, and the guy told him, okay, he will see if he could make that connection and for me and stuff. So we went back to the hotel, and as days go by, they made the connection for me to train with this club. The coach made this connection, and I went back to train with a club that I trained with when I failed in 2016. You know, I thought that this time when I come back, I would have made it. You know, I thought that this time that I was going to make this team, and I really felt like, based on the connections, how I get to train with this team, because last time I just went and I asked the coach and I trained with them, but this time it was a connection, and I thought that, okay, with this connection I'm gonna make this team. But I didn't make this team. But you know what, I still believed that I can make it. I still believe that I can make this team, and I went back to Club Sando again to train, and I failed again, and my time was up for staying by this hotel. My time was up. I didn't have any more money to stay at this hotel, and so I had to go back home. But something happened. Something happened that I never expected. No one would have expected this. A few times I decided that I'm gonna leave construction and work with my father in his garage, because it was more peaceful than hearing cussing and the kind of music that these guys used to play. I couldn't take it, so I decided I'm going to work in a garage with my father. And off and on, this was not working out. One time I would be by my father, and the next time I'll go back to construction. Next time I go by my father, where him and I will fall out, and I'll run right back to construction. And then next time I'll go right back to my father, because it was closer to home, and as I said, it was more peaceful with the music aspect. But with me and my father, things weren't working out. We couldn't work together. During those times, I had my headphones in my ears, and I used to listen a lot of Spanish, because I studied Spanish at school and I did well. I passed it at school also. So I wanted to be better at it. And because I wanted to become a professional footballer, I made up in my mind that I'm gonna better myself in my Spanish, so that when I become a professional footballer, that I will not need a translator for me, you know. So at the time, I just had my headphones in my ears, and people used to get disturbed because they think that I'm not paying them any mind, but I was just in my own zone. Things weren't working out, so I used to just use that to kind of help me, to calm me. So it's like I'm developing myself even while I'm in a place where I don't want to be. So at this hotel, something happened. Something that will blow your minds. So this day, I wasn't about to leave as yet. I believe it was 2 days or 1 day before I go back to Tobago. And on leaving my room, I heard the receptionist, the male, he was talking to a guest, but he was standing in front of the guest door, but I wasn't seeing the guest until I heard the guest speak. and the guest was speaking Spanish, and he was on his phone, but he couldn't tell the boss because the boss left. The boss was not at the hotel anymore. It was just me and the guy, and he was trying to explain to the boss what was happening, but he did not know Spanish, but I knew. Do you remember when I worked at my father's garage, I had my headphones in my ears and I was listening in Spanish? Yes, it helped me. I was ready for this. So I overheard the conversation and I said, "Can I help?" And the guy said, "How?" And I said, "I know Spanish." He said, "Really? You know Spanish? Come, tell the boss what is going on." So I was able to listen to the Spanish person, translate it to the boss, and then tell the Spanish person what was happening, letting the Spanish person know that the boss is on his way and that he's coming, and settle things. And I did not know that was my breakthrough. I did not know that my Spanish would have helped me in this situation where after I went back home, I prayed to God because honestly I felt in my spirit that this Spanish thing really excited my boss because he spoke about it, but I went home and I prayed and I said, "God, if you give me that work, I will be so grateful. Just give me that work." It's like a part of me was saying, this Spanish work, this Spanish what I just translated, is going to give me that work. And I went back to Tobago. I wasn't sad at all because I felt in my spirit that this boss is going to call me to work at his place. And when I went back home, he called me and asked me if I want to work at his place. And I started to jump and kick and dance because I felt it before it happened. I felt it, I prayed about it. And he called and asked me. And I said to him, "So where would I live? If I work at your hotel, where would I be living?" And he said, "You can live here and work here." And I was like, "What?" Because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking that, hey, I'll go get a work there and I will rent somewhere. But I never thought that I was going to live at the hotel and work at the hotel. Well, immediately I was back in Trinidad. And you know what? The receptionist that was there, he was not someone that was trustworthy or reliable. So I took his place and I began living there. What a great God. I began living there and working there. It was so peaceful as when I just went, when the place was quiet. Well, when I just went, the place was quiet, but wasn't as peaceful as this time. Like, this one was like so, it's like I felt so free. And it was right before Emancipation Day. So it's like, wow, God, thank you. I'm so free. And a new journey started while living there in Trinidad. A new journey started. And in my next episode, you are going to hear about my life in Trinidad, how I lived at this hotel, how I worked at this hotel, how I was able to sign a contract with a club finally. In my next episode, you're going to hear everything and all the great things that God has done.
So until next time, guys, remember to subscribe right here, share, and like this video down below.
So until then,
bye.
Wake up.